Good morning, Fernanda. This is Mutlu. I will try to answer your question. I have solved it and I want us to go together with the solution. So we do have an f of x function. It is 6 over x plus 5. We do have g of x, that's x over 6 over x plus 5. So we need to look at each function's domain separately, which I'm showing that here. I know that you would agree with that, right? Domain of f of x is between negative infinity to negative 5, union negative 5 to infinity. Domain of g of x is the same because x cannot be equal to negative 5. That's how we put it in the red form, as you see here, into interval notation. And then from those two functions, we're obtaining f over g of x, which you found nicely, that is 6 over x. And that function will have a domain. Restriction 1, x cannot be equal to 0. But the same function will also have a domain restriction. It is hidden, it's not there, but it is coming of being a function composed of or operated of f and g. That's this restriction. This is the second one that oftentimes we omit. The restriction 2, which I'm pointing out here, x being negative infinity, negative 5, union negative 5 to infinity, that is the intersection of the domains of f and g of x. So now we need to merge restriction 1 and restriction 2 together, and then this was going to give us the answer. So there are two things we need to be careful of. Yes, this is good to form f over g of x, but we also need to remember how this function is formed. This function, 6 over x, is formed by dividing f of x to g of x. So when I'm putting inputs, when I'm trying to find values, right, this is where it's coming from. I cannot only omit 0. That would not be true because this g of x has a restriction of cannot be equal to negative 5, and f of x has a restriction of cannot be equal to negative 5 in the interval form. So we need to look at two functions separately, decide what's their domain as an intersection. That's the most important part, which is here. And then with that domain, we need to look at the resultant function. What would be the domain of resultant function? And then merge 1 and 2 into an interval form. I hope it helps. Let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks for listening to me. Bye.